As for me, I used to think that Ezra was counting on me to protect Lothal, the planet and the people he cared for so much. But one day, I realized there was more to it. There was something else I was meant to do. Ezra's out there somewhere, and it's time to bring him home.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. I hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing the ending of Ahsoka Episode 2 and the ending of Star Wars Rebels, as there might have been a Star Wars retcon with it. We are going to go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video we are going to be taking a read from the Direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well, as I read a key moment from Ahsoka's second episode on Disney Plus recreated the pivotal final scene of Star Wars Rebels. Though not every detail remained exactly the same, it does still connect those puzzles and those pieces, and I think it gets the message across of kind of what Dave Filoni was really trying to go for. Many Star Wars fans know how Rebels ended. When all hope seems lost, Ezra Bridger saved the day by summoning a pod of Purgles to carry Grand Admiral Thrawn off of Lothal and into the deep space. Ezra went along for that ride as well, and since then Sabine Wren has made it her mission to find him. The very last scene of the animated show Star Wars Rebels had depicted Sabine joining forces with Ahsoka Tano, after gazing at the mural of her friends that she made and reaching out and touching the painting of Ezra specifically. In the closing final minutes of Ahsoka's Episode 2, titled Toil and Trouble, Sabine is shown teaming up with Tano to track the serious villains on the planet of Seotis. It's in this scene that the live-action show essentially remakes that sequence from the final moments of the animated program Star Wars Rebels. However, this live-action version is not a shot-for-shot replica exactly of the original, and in fact holds a few noticeable differences here and there. Pretty much to a point retconning what we had with the end of Star Wars Rebels. Not entirely to a point of where it makes Star Wars Rebels non-canon, but there's a few differences here and there. Starting with the setting, the Rebels representation of this moment seems to take place inside of a ruin, giving the debris nearby in the entrance. Ahsoka establishes that this location is in Lothal's capital city, surrounding by the gleaming Ralph McQuarrie-inspired architect. That seems to be directly inspired from Ralph McQuarrie and his original concept art for Star Wars. The bit especially of where Sabine taps Ezra's painted likeness with her finger is unchanged in Ahsoka though, however. She does put her helmet on right after this, which is not something that she does in the live-action take. Sabine's hair is also arguably different on Natasha Liu Bordizzo's version, which perhaps that can simply be chalked up to creative license. And another fairly significant retcon comes in the form of Ahsoka's overall appearance herself. In Star Wars Rebels, she's carrying a staff and wearing all-white clothing robes, very similar to what we see in The Lord of the Rings with Gandalf. In Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson just wears her standard Jedi clothing that she's worn in all of her other live-action outings, like The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Book of Boba Fett. Ahsoka also shows that the two shared a brief verbal exchange, in which Tano comments on Wren's hair, before boarding the starship and jetting off to Seotis. Again, this is something that we didn't see in Star Wars Rebels. This here all being said, in my own thoughts and opinions, I think what we see at the end of Star Wars Rebels is actually really supposed to be something different in comparison to what we see at the end of Ahsoka Episode 2. They're supposed to be two entirely different scenes. And I really believe that if for anything of what we saw at the end of Star Wars Rebels, that's where we see Ahsoka and Sabine Wren really become master and apprentice and go off and really begin Sabine's Jedi training. There's clearly those differences that are there between Rebels and Ahsoka, and seeing that Dave Filoni is the creator and showrunner of both of those projects, Rebels and Ahsoka, he wouldn't let that slide, especially if he was, into reference, didn't want those to be actually different. So really, all in all, is this supposed to be some type of retcon for what we saw at the end of Rebels? I think that my clear-cut answer to that is a simple no. I really do believe that these are really supposed to be different scenes and the different points in the timeline as well. A lot of other people had thought thought different, seeing that when we see Hera Syndulla next in that scenage, or somewhere in that, like, a whole sequence really, at the end of Rebels, there she is with Jason Syndulla, her son. So yes, arguably there's some type of time jump there, but just not what we actually think it is. I definitely think that these are supposed to be different, and really just parallels at that. So this year all being said, Ahsoka is still remarkably faithful to Star Wars Rebels, setting aside the fact that Ahsoka's Rebels replication isn't a one-to-one copy, because I don't really believe it's supposed to. The Disney Plus show has clearly gone to great lengths in bringing that world of the animation to life. In fact, those involved with Ahsoka have essentially deemed it Star Wars Rebels Season 5. In addition to having Hera Syndulla and Sabine Wren as major cast members, Ahsoka also features the likes of Ezra, Chopper, Thrawn, Ryder, Jay Kell, and possibly even more, all translated impeccably into live action, sometimes even having the same voice actors playing them in live action. Even if this was what Dave Filoni was trying to go for, and was trying to recreate that scene from Rebels on a one-to-one, and saying that that scene that we saw at the end of Rebels is actually supposed to be taking place here alongside in the Mandoverse after Return of the Jedi, he still, I don't really believe, would have had it to be disconnected from canon and just automatically make everything from Rebels like a part of Legends all of this sudden. They're supposed to, and there can be minor differences here and there. However, like I had mentioned, just the way putting it of that it's Dave Filoni, he was the creator and the showrunner of both Rebels and Ahsoka, just those little differences he wouldn't let slide, especially with having that scene at the end of Rebels and the Lothal planet kind of being in more debris at that, and having a lot more debris kind of laying around. That's something that we would have seen clearly translated over into Ahsoka with the live action. Rather than a replacement as well for Ahsoka being a replacement to Star Wars Rebels, it's a continuation. This has been said time in and time out, and I think that they're gardening to it, and they're going to keep on with it. Most fans will also likely agree that, while not exactly carbon copies, because I don't really believe that's what Filoni was trying to go for, the new versions of these beloved heroes and villains are and have been lovingly crafted and portrayed, sometimes right down to the sentence of which the Rebels characters can speak. This year being all said, to clear up any confusion, Star Wars Rebels is still a part of the canon. There are a few minor differences here and there between these two scenes because they are supposed to be different scenes. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. Have a great one, guys. Peace out.